Fourth-year medical students at the University of Illinois College of Medicine, Rockford, learn where they will spend the next years of their education. WIFR's Bria Walters talks to State Line students about the emotions they feel this match day.
I was just overblown with just raw emotion.
Andy Vehongs is one of 50 students in the 2026 match day class for University of Illinois College of Medicine, Rockford. The Loves Park native gets his passion honestly. His father is a doctor and one of Vehongs' inspirations.
I definitely had that influence of going into medicine, but what really solidified it for me was becoming an EMT.
University Dean Dr. Trayvon Thompson says match day is a symbol of transition.
We're at the culmination of your educational time, so this is a unique experience in medicine.
And Vehongs got his wish, his first pick.
I matched into MedPeds at Loyola University.
It's just something that you dream up.
Another state liner, Wills Anderson.
Wills Anderson.
Matched to University of Wisconsin for emergency medicine. He says it's special to stay close to home.
The residency is a long time, so hopefully when I get some breaks, I'll be able to make the drive down.
This year's event is also a first for Dr. Thompson. He took over just a week ago, previously serving as the school's dean for admissions.
It's a full circle moment for sure, but a real big moment of pride, not only for me as a physician and a medical educator, but for the campus.
Anderson credits people like Thompson for helping guide his journey.
There's really a special training that we get here at UIC Rockford.
And the newly minted leader hopes to live up to that praise. He says there's a critical need for physicians, but with classes like this, the future of medicine is bright.
These 50 students who believe in our mission, who will graduate and continue that mission wherever they go, that is a sort of a force multiplier.
In Rockford, Bria Walters, WIFR News.
What an absolutely exciting day. I love it every year for sure. And Dean Thompson says the students matched into 16 specialties across 18 states. 21 of those matched are staying in Illinois. 58% of them matched into primary care specialties.